What do they feed you guys? Oh, that's amazing. Oh, great. Actually, I've heard of your school. It's quite famous. And do you have little kids as well?
Yes.
Because last month, or 2 weeks ago, I was judging a writing competition, and there were some entries from your school. So maybe your little brothers or sisters. Yeah, 1 or 2 of them were really good, and I think one of them may have won a prize, but that might be classified information. Okay.
All of these are winners as well. So.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I mean, do you feel like, do you feel creative? I mean, people often worry that youngsters today are less creative. Do you guys read books?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Watch movies?
Yes.
Play games, anybody?
Yes.
Yeah. Good. My office is in a university, so we often do creativity tests. And we found that people who play games actually do exercise part of their creativity structure. So actually games are actually quite good. For watching movies, it's pretty bad actually. In fact, there was a test that wasn't us, but it was some colleagues of ours did in London. They put a brain scanner on some kids and had them do various activities like brushing the teeth, eating food and so on. And then they said, okay, go and take a rest. The kids went to rest watching TV. Anyway, one of the kids left the brain scanner on and the brain activity went and they found that the brain activity level for TV watchers was lower than for sleeping. They said that if you watch TV for 4 hours, you can die because the brain activity level is close to death. And of course, that's now the average in America, 4 hours a day. So feel sorry for those American kids. Anyway, any of you actually write stories sometimes?
I've tried.
You write?
Short stories.
Yeah, I get to like one point where I feel like, you know, the story's actually pretty good, but then I don't know how to expand it. And then I get stuck and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to try some other thing. So procrastination takes over.
Okay.
When I write this blog, I find that I have this really good idea, with this really good picture in my mind, but I can't express it. I can't find the right words to even start it at times.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'll tell you a good trick I do, because there's a cinema in the back of your head, okay? And you can actually do the scene in your story in the cinema, and you can rewind and fast forward, you can change the dialogue, and you can take characters out, put new characters in. So what I do is if I'm writing a crime novel, or a movie, or a game, or anything I'm writing, I just imagine it all first. And for me, it's good to walk. Sitting in front of a computer is somehow very uncreative, or sitting in front of paper. So I put all the paper and computer away and just walk around, and I watch this cinema in my head. And then once the scene has happened, then you go back down and then you write it. And then you never get stuck because you've already seen the whole movie.
Right, it's like writing a script.
You're just actually writing out something you've already watched. So it's like reports. Anyway, your teacher tells me that she's going to invite me to your school next year. So I'll come and visit, okay? And then you can send me your screenplays and books and movies, and I'll send them to my publishers. Okay, I'm going to have to go.
And issues that shape policies of different countries. And to what level are they able to take these decisions to the reach heads of the states, and what level is it successful? So that this is their first exposure for all of them. There are 5 of them are in class 10 and 2 of them are in IB, so they have this question.
Well, I don't know if they get new ideas. The decision makers do get new ideas, which sometimes are, don't reach them through the bureaucratic level. More than that, bureaucratic thinking has a certain group. They know what the limits are, while the academics, the scholars or practitioners have very different experiences. I think one use is that it exposes them to areas and ideas which they might not have been exposed to. But that doesn't mean that whatever they hear gets incorporated into policy. Not necessarily. Firstly, because maybe some of the ideas they don't find useful. Some of the ideas they find useful but impracticable. Some of the ideas they find useful, they want to practice it, but there are other hurdles, finances, governmental machinery, the target groups, whether they like it, various other issues. So there is no guarantee. In fact, my cynical thinking is that the governments get very little fresh air from outside. They are normally not open. Though increasingly with the globalization and others, there is no way they can avoid. They have got to interact and find out what is happening. The other thing which happens in such convention is, which is, we call it 1.5 or something, track 1.5, where the officials are also there, non-officials are also there. Where on many of the questions the officials explain their position, which we in the private world, media or academia or business people are not aware, and they criticize. Sometimes criticize, sometimes appreciate policies, not knowing what the parameters are. All these kind of an interaction happens. That's why these conferences not only are held but are supported and encouraged and given wider publicity. Even those who have not attended probably would get an idea.
Suppose it's also possible then to argue that for those who presume that nothing really can happen, these conferences would then, attending the conferences would give them a chance to perhaps see that yes, there are people who care, that something possibly can be done about it.
It's true. Sometimes, for instance, today, I don't know if you heard Chidambaram said one thing, that we take sometimes wrong decisions, sometimes inappropriate decisions. But outside fellows may be thinking they have deliberately taken wrong decision to favor somebody, which may not be the case. Which may be the case, may not be the case. Therefore, the kind of what you call the communication gap gets bridged by. Then there are other advantages, network. Now, if this convention had not taken place, how do I talk to you? And not only talk to you, talk to you're from Bangladesh. Oh, we met 10 years earlier. So there is an intellectual policy business network which fits into each other, which reinforces each other. Positive aspect. The negative aspect is what it would involve million plus. The question that can be asked is it worth it? What we are doing, whether worth it, depends upon if we can actually do something. Okay. Great pleasure.
What about expanding this diaspora? Access is quite limited. There's not much exposure. I mean,
still there may be 1,000 plus.
1,000 plus in what could
It's not
across the different things? That's Ellen saying it's away from India. People are not getting these conventions that are happening across these countries. So this
there are many things. For instance, you don't know. Indian manpower ministry holds an
India, they've turned around.
You must have heard of it, Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is those who are living outside. Annually they do. Similarly, there may be other countries holding, may not, but there may be countries. This is all said and done. I mean, we guys who have been moving into all this think it's very common. For many people, it's not common. I mean, understanding diaspora, even here I tell you, I mean, if you want me to give a critique of this, the whole convention has focused mostly on the economic dimension. What is the role of diaspora in foreign policy? What is the role of diaspora? We have not discussed. What is the role of diaspora in security? I give you an example. I did a paper long back. The role of diaspora in insurgency, like Tamil insurgency in Sri Lanka or Kashmir or Northeast. Now, people who are living outside, Northeast people are supporting Northeast insurgency. Tamil outside living supporting Tamil insurgency because they identify ideologically. They fund it, finance it. They manage their, even sometimes help them arrange their arms. Sometimes help them arrange their politically. Second issue, I don't know if you heard about India new civil nuclear agreement. When civil nuclear agreement was being pursued between India and America, the Indian community in America became excessively active. Lobbyists go here and there, they speak, write. We are not even touching them. Secondly, what is the diaspora relations? Look, we are all Indians here in Singapore. How many times we meet each other? How many times the Gujaratis and Marathis fight with each other? How many times the Bengalis and the Rajasthanis don't look at each other? Okay, how many times they have Diwali celebration together? We have not even looked into how the diaspora is living and interacting with their host government. So there are many aspects which we have not been able to cover. In terms of weaknesses, I wish they could ask, I could give these suggestions, you could hold it. But then it would, as he said, would amount to expanding, asking for more experts, more this, that, what. Okay? All right.
Thank you so much.
God bless you. Enjoy yourself and get best of the grades.
Thank you.